Hey gamers, it's Jack here. So, I've been seeing a lot of discussions lately since pretty much when Arc Raiders came out, and also Server Slam really, that people have been wanting a PvE mode. There's been a big discussion versus PvP and PvE, and people just wanting a PvE mode. And I kind of want to ask my own questions and discuss why so many people want that, and I'm also here to theorize. So, like I said, you can go anywhere right now, like the Reddit, the Discord, the subreddit. I just say subreddit twice, yes. The Reddit, the Discord, Steam, forums that people have been asking for a PvE mode. And I've been wondering why so many people want that, and why Arc Raiders is having a unique moment with that. Because yes, there's people who've been asking for PvE mode for Tarkov, but the thing though is that like Tarkov's PvE mode was pretty underground. You didn't really like people who wanted PvE weren't like as the people who wanted PvE in Tarkov, right, were not like this ferocious. And people who played Tarkov, right, didn't shame for wanting the PvP. Like a lot of people right now, especially on the Reddit and a little bit on the Discord, that people are kind of shaming for PvP. People are saying that you should feel bad for PvPing or killing another raider and that you should be focusing on the Arc. I kind of like my theory with this currently is that I think Arc Raiders accidentally advertised outside of the extraction shooter sphere. See, Arc Raiders is kind of in a unique spot where it's actually a pretty casual but still intense extraction shooter. Like it hits that casual market, and extraction shooters have been notorious for not really being able to be casual friendly because of the nature of the genre. The nature of the genre is very hard and is very stressful, and you can lose your gear at any point. So it turned off a lot of casual people, especially Tarkov. We can look at like Gray Zone Warfare or ABI or Delta Force's extraction shooter, right? But it's still in a point where I think Arc Raiders is still more casual friendly than those games. And because it's so casual friendly, it kind of picked up, I think, a little bit of the wrong audience. People who just want the PvE without the PvP. In my my opinion is that I think they should just play a different game. That's my opinion, honestly. Yeah, I get it. You know, you want to fight arcs, but the game is not just about fighting arcs. It's about fighting players and arcs. It's a survival of the fittest. It's a kill or be killed type world. You know, like how edgy that sounds. And I think those people need to understand that the game is meant to be PvP. It is meant you are meant to fight other players and the risk of losing loot, because it's not an extraction shooter without that risk. You need that risk for it to be a good extraction shooter, which is the risk of fear gear. Without an extraction shooter and fear gear, the game gets boring. It's just like with every extraction shooter, that the game gets boring without gear fear. What pretty much everybody's asking for PvE is that they just don't want it to be an extraction shooter anymore. They don't want that fear of losing their gear. That's it. They just don't want it. And the kind of issue with that is that it would be fine if they were just wanting PvE, right? Like, so people in Tarkov did, you know, they asked about PvE all the time. So what, right? You know, but we're kind of in a unique state in Arc Raiders where people are kind of like getting upset and butthurt if you PvP in your PvE extraction shooter. Maybe Embark accidentally successfully made a casual extraction shooter to the point where it is picking up that casual PvE community. And the problem with that is now the PvE community is now clashing with the extraction shooter community, because the extraction communities already know what's going to go on, right? Like they've played Tarkov, or they played Gray Zone Warfare, ABI, Delta Force's extraction shooter. Like they know what's gonna happen, and they are clashing with the the PvE people, because they're like, this is what an extraction shooter is. If you don't like it, just go to a different game. And the other people are like, well, why can't they just add a PvE mode? And they can. And like, could in theory add a PvE mode, right? But the also issue is that if they add a PvE mode, it's not going to be like what people think. People are going to think it's just going to be a pure arc. When an extraction shooter adds a PvE mode to the game, like Tarkov and Gray Zone Warfare, you still have AI threats and simulated players. So you're still going to get shot, and you're still going to have that fear of losing your gear. That fear will never go away. No matter how forum you want it, it's just, that's the genre of the extraction shooter. And that's what makes an extraction shooter an extraction shooter. I think both sides probably need to chill out. I think the people who are more familiar with extraction shooters and PvP need to stop baiting out the PvE people. And the people who are PvE need to stop shaming people for playing the game how it's meant to be played, which is the fear of losing your gear and taking someone else's gear. Like, as much as it's fucked up to say, extraction shooters are kind of built on ruining people's days. And it's kind of funny to say and kind of laugh about, but that's the point of them. You're kind of meant to ruin someone's day. It's kind of the loop of extraction shooters. You're gonna have really big highs and you're gonna have really deep lows, and that's just kind of how it works. There's nothing really else to it. It's just kind of how extraction shooter runs. It's how it always has been. It's how it always plays. And Embark is still trying to capture that, where you have those really high highs and those really low lows, because that's what makes, again, an extraction shooter a really good extraction shooter. And I think they've done a very good job at it. But the issue, though, is I think they made it so casual that it's picking up too casual people, if that makes sense. Like, I think Arc Raiders has an issue where it has picked up too many casuals, and there's too many people who just want it to be PvE or like Helldivers, but the game will never be like Helldivers. And so this community is just kind of clashing together and just kind of arguing infinitely and just being toxic towards each other and shit. But yeah, that's just what I wanted to say on the matter. If you guys disagree, or you want to call me a skill issue, or call me bad, or call me a dirty PvPer, as some people wasn't saying, go ahead. If this video reaches anybody, I'd like to see a discussion in the comments. Again, Jag, talk to you guys later, and bye.